Okay, this is a customer's 2004 Big Dog chopper. I believe it's a 107-inch S&S. The S&S carb. Got Vance and Hines pipe. He added a new air cleaner. Customer complains of a cough through the intake. So I'm going to take it out and see if I can duplicate it, and then come back and see what we can find. Customer just also had the carburetor cleaned and gone through, and that didn't fix it. So I think the problem is behind the carburetor is the intake here, where the intake bolts to the head is kind of like an O-ring, but it's a bigger, flatter O-ring. And so I think that's probably the problem, so we're gonna check that out. So, as you can hear the pipes ticking, I already had it running a little bit, but I'm going to take it out on the road and see if I can duplicate the concern, and we'll go from there. Okay, so what we found out was it does not look like the intake seals are bad. I took the bike apart. Unfortunately, I didn't get that on film. I had some other stuff going on. But we got it apart and get a good look at the interesting intake runner there. Here's the intake, and there is the seal. It's kind of like an O-ring, but it has a tapered shape to it that mates up to the flange. And so we got that apart. Everything looks good there. I just checked the settings on the ignition. I did back off the mode switch here. That is the street, and they have street mode, race mode, single fire, dual fire, multiple spark, single spark. So I did back that off a little bit. There's really no sense in having this thing on race mode. I mean, it's got plenty of power, and that could be just aggravating the problem. So we got the carburetor all apart, and everything looks pretty good in there. This is it's actually an S&S Super G. It's not the E, it's a bigger one. It's got the real big butterfly on it. And everything looks pretty good in there. A little dirt down the bottom. This carburetor was just cleaned though by somebody else. And then as I was talking to the customer, I learned a few more things that probably aggravated or caused this situation. It might have been maybe borderline lean from the factory, but what I found out was that he installed this air cleaner, which I'm not crazy about. It's not a very good quality filter. It doesn't have much of an element to let the air in. And also, he installed these Vance and Hines big radius, which I know there's a lot of guys out there that run these pipes, but these are the worst performing pipes there is. Even drag pipes would perform better than this. I was a Harley mechanic for 16 years. I was a master technician. I did dyno tuning. I went to a couple different schools for dyno training. I used to do a lot of carburetors and fuel injection tuning, custom tunes. And these are the worst pipes for upper mid-range and wide open power. If he took these pipes off and got a nice, even a nice set of duals, or especially a 2-into-1, like this bike came with a 2-into-1 and he took it off. But that's probably what's causing this problem. These pipes really open up the system and make it lean, especially when it was coming from a 2-into-1. But I've seen these pipes on the dyno. I've seen similar engine configurations come in, even a twin cam style, 103 to 107s. And I've actually talked the guy into doing a D&D Fat Cat or some kind of a good 2-into-1 or even a good set of duals, and made anywhere from 10 to 20 horsepower just with a better set of pipes and tuning it correctly. But it's mostly in the pipes. So this guy likes the looks of these pipes, and he's gonna sacrifice a little horsepower, so I guess we just gotta tune it accordingly and see what we can get. So what I've got here is a '76 main and a 32 intermediate or pilot jet. And to compensate for the lean condition, they had the air fuel screw backed out about twice as far as it should have been. So I do have a 78, but I'm afraid that's a SNS jet there. I'm afraid that that's not big enough. So I'm going to talk to the customer and see if he wants to wait for me to order some jets, or what we're going to do here. But I just wanted to give you guys a little update, and I will show this bike running. I should have set the camera up the other day and taken a little video of this bike running, and while I was going down the road. I don't know, you know, there's some guys that like this style of bike, some guys don't. But I'm sure would be some good content. So we will see what we can figure out here and keep you guys up to date. Okay, I just got this one finished up. I did my research online, and I found out not only did the customer change the air cleaner and the pipes, he created such a lean condition that this carburetor, even with the larger jets in it, couldn't overcome the transition from pilot jet to main jet. This is actually a G carburetor, and what I found was when you go wide open air cleaner and exhaust, you need a bigger air bleed, and it's inside the top of the float bowl. So the spec was go to a bigger air bleed, like a 50 or a 60, and the SNS jets are in thousandths of an inch, so it had a 40 air bleed in it, which is a 40 thousandths. So I thought, well, I'll go 50 to 60, and I just wanted to take a chance and see if it fixed it. So I actually just drilled the jets out. You're not supposed to drill the jets out, and I'm not recommending that anybody does that, but I did. I drilled it out to 55. I drilled the main jet out to a 81, and I drilled the pilot out to a 34, and it runs perfect. So I'm gonna start this up for you guys so you can hear it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe. I'll be working on all kinds of stuff. Motorcycles, cars, trucks, tractors, all kinds of stuff. Thanks for watching.